Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Carlton People. Today I've got Antonina with me. It's good to finally get this one recorded, Antonina. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Nice to see
I
you.
just was just saying off before we hit record, it's been a journey to get to these episodes again. I think end of 2022 wasn't really in the mood, and end of
No.
2023 definitely in the mood for them.
Yeah, no, definitely want to talk it up, and happy
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. Well, tell me, how did you become a Carlton supporter? What is your story?
Well, I guess like many other Carlton supporters, it's my family. So in this instance, my dad. So he came out from Italy to Australia in 1957 and was
Wow.
living out sort of on that side of town, I guess. So, Fitzroy, Collingwood, Carlton, and sort of the community and, friends and people there. And from what I've understood, he sort of just was near the ground one day and sort of went, started going to these games. So yeah, and that's, I suppose, that's how it started. So I'm not sure if someone told him about it, but anyway, he started going, and yeah, from that day on, we've all been born into the family, and we are Carlton supporters.
I love that. It doesn't cease to amaze me how much the family link demands of you to be a supporter of the club,
Yes.
especially the European background families.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I guess the Italian connection with Carlton, more so probably than other teams, is probably, and obviously the area, where all a lot of the Italians were. So yeah, so sort of it just it makes sense, doesn't it? Really.
No, it does. So, what's your earliest memory of watching or
Yeah,
going
I
or?
was thinking of this. So I remember, I suppose, in terms of my memory, so not being at a game, I remember the 1979 grand final. I remember I think we were at a friend's house and it was on the TV, and I remember them winning. And then I sort of had a memory of, dad, and I think my older brother was there with him. So I sort of had that in my head. And then I think driving home, I just remember seeing flags or, scarves around and sort of having that little bit of an awareness. Or Carlton won, but, I'm not sure if I'd been to any games. I don't remember. I would have been 6. So that's sort of my first memory of sort of having that association with Carlton and knowing, they've done something good, and, my family would be sort of happy. And then I was thinking I get a very vague recollection of being at a final in 1980 against Richmond, which I think we lost because we didn't get through to the grand final. So I just have a recollection of being there. I think whether it was Waverley or MCG, I don't know. And then sort of from that point on, I remember sort of, going to games. So I was at the, 81 grand final, and sort of, as the years went on. So that's sort of when I'm starting to remember actual games. So yeah, going back a while.
Yeah, right. Well, you're part of the golden era. You've seen all
I
the magical
know.
times.
I know. I was right in the thick of it when I was, I suppose, born and starting to go to games. So, and I guess that's all I knew, which I suppose, and a lot of the supporters, on this channel talk about, you sort of Carlton are good, Carlton getting grand finals, Carlton beat Collingwood, we've got this rivalry. And I guess that's sort of where the Carlton Collingwood rivalry is for me. I don't have sort of any memory of them doing something awful to me, or, that I just knew Carlton didn't like Collingwood, and we were, and that was it. So that's sort of how I grew up. And I try and just, my husband, Paul, he's a Collingwood supporter. So he goes, why do you hate them? And, what's your reason? They haven't beaten you in grand finals. I'm like, I don't know. I just grew up, and that's what I was told, or you just sort of knew. It's sort of
You don't make the rules.
I don't know. I can't explain. I mean, now there's certainly things that they've done that I don't like about them, but yeah, back then it's just sort of intrinsic. I don't know.
Yeah, the rules are the rules. We don't make them. We
Yes,
just follow them. They're passed down
that's
to
it.
us. Yeah. So Do you like now? Are you going often? Are you somebody that goes to as
Yeah,
many games as you can? Like, is it part of
yeah,
your routine?
definitely. So I was even just sort of thinking about why why I go to games. So I guess Dad's that connection. So that was, I mean, Dad's now passed, but that was sort of a thing with him. I mean, he would go obviously with all of us, but that was like a sort of a little fun thing that I would do with him. You know, I sort of had that football connection. I mean, I like to say along with my brothers and my sisters probably doesn't go to the games as much, but so you know, I sort of had that was my nice little thing with Dad. So I guess that's sort of tight, you know, that really it's sort of tight, you know, it brings me good, it sort of brings the memories of him, you know, with me. So that's what I love. And so I just would, because Dad would take us all along. And then as the years went on, obviously, I just sort of kept being interested. I don't know what it was. I mean, originally, you sort of just go along for a bit of fun. And Dad, at the old, so at what is it, Princess Park, I guess back then, the wooden stand. So the one next to there was a social club stand, and then there was the wooden stand sort of to the right, sorry, left of that. And within that, was that the Heatley stand or no? Is that
Yeah,
the
that's right.
yeah? So within that, there were like the little corporate boxes, the little sort of 6-seater corporate boxes. Dad used to get tickets to those, so we'd go along. So Mum and Dad and my little brother and I, and we would go along often to sit in. That's where we would sit. So I just have memories of, you know, the waiter bringing down beers for Dad, and like we'd have a soft drink, and you're just sitting in that box watching. So it was open, like we weren't enclosed, but that's a memory I have too. It's like really bizarre. But it's really like, and they're not there anymore, obviously. But
Yeah.
that's sort of how I used to watch the football early days at Carlton. So yeah, so I would just go, I suppose, tag along, and that was always the Saturday games, 2 o'clock, you know. And I would just tag along probably for the fun of it. And then as time went on, I suppose I got a bit more interested. Look, I learned who the players were, and I sort of follow the game a little bit more. And I guess that's an age thing too. And I just kept being interested sort of throughout my teenage years, and you know, and here I am today. So
Yeah.
um yeah, so I do go as often as I can. I take my daughter, usually comes with me now, my older daughter, so she's a Carlton supporter and she enjoys it. And then we've got my brothers and nieces and nephews that will often, not necessarily every week, but you know, we'll sort of, you know, if we can be there together, we do, which I really love too. I love that sort of, and then I suppose as you know, as the family's growing and there's more and more of us, it's just so special. So even this last going through the finals campaign with them, it was just you know, it was just such a nice feeling to sort of have that experience with everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, some for the first time. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm a bit, I like to get there as often as I can.
The experience has evolved a lot in a number of ways. What do you compare the crowds to the way they used to be? I mean, you go into Princess Park or you go to Waverley, for example. Like
Yeah.
now we're going to the MCG. I mean, I don't know. I don't have memories of back in the day. So what's the Raw like? Is it the same? Is it the same type of passion? Has it evolved?
So I think I mean, it's always been loud. I mean, I guess us being Carlton supporters, we're probably lucky that, you know, we've probably had a lot of, you know, a lot of those games, lot more people at the game. So, you know, you've got that crowd. Um, I'm trying I think there's probably a little bit of fighting. I remember lots more fights.
A bit more
And as
hostile.
maybe now, I mean, they're probably still there, but they're probably just more, you know, the security are onto it straight away. Not necessarily us being involved in fights, or but you know, I suppose I could. But it's just weird. I think you just would sit there as a kid. I mean, you'd hear all this stuff, but you would just not ignore. I guess you would just sort of let it go over your head. You know, you just wouldn't worry too much about it. But yeah, I think I was just sort of like thought, oh well, it's part of going to the football, and you would like, you know, I was there with my dad or my brother or, you know, whoever. So you suppose you felt safe anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm probably just getting more passionate as I get older about it. And yeah, look, I suppose I'm just noticing it more just because I suppose I'm participating in it more. Not that I didn't back then. It was certainly very exciting. But it was, I suppose it's different as you grow. It's sort of, you know, different things present themselves, or, you know, and in time, you know, things evolve and change. And even the way they sort of, I suppose, manage the grounds and the crowds and stuff. So,
Yeah,
but
and
I
I think
certainly,
I'd also
remember going out to Waverley and being stuck in the car park, trying to get out, and just lots of people, and yeah, it was always really busy. So, and definitely vocal.
Yeah, I think also you have this new way to stay in touch throughout the week. Like
Hmm.
I mean, there's always the build up to a game,
Yes.
and in the build up during the week, you would have, I don't know, newspaper articles or programs during the week. Footy show Thursday night, Monday night, they probably had something
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
Now we've got this technological evolution that's happened, and there's a content creator doing something every night that you can
Yeah.
watch
24/7.
24/7 on demand, wherever you want it, however you
Yeah.
want it. So it's I think
Whatever angle you want it. It's
yeah. I think that's done something to help, like in a weird way. I think the club already had a really strong and connected supporter base, but it's given supporters just more. And I think we
yeah.
wanted more.
Yeah, I think so. Um, yeah, like even thinking back then, yeah, it would be the newspaper, and you'd read the footy record and listen to the radio. Yeah, there were like sort of like Sunday, the world of sport and that sort of thing. And then and then also those sort of the variety footy shows would sort of start coming in. So depending on how you're going, you could pay attention or not. So, but yeah, it was always those things that sort of help you, get prepared for that next game. But yeah, I don't mind. I like having the access now. I think it could be challenging, and I think we all experienced it. When we're not going so great, and everyone's got
Yeah.
an opinion.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. So that's why these sorts of fan channels are great to have, but even part of halfway through the year, I couldn't even watch any of this stuff just because I
Yeah.
can't take on I'm already feeling so so distraught. I can't take on everyone else's. Although we're all feeling the same way. So I suppose there's time for to turn on and off these sorts of things too. But it is nice to have the access. And the viewpoint of the fan, without a sort of an agenda. We just sort of want to know the truth, or not the truth. You want to know the facts. You don't want to sort of hear all the get the clickbait sort of stories and stuff, because it just causes angst. And I've been like that all along, even with the newspaper. I just wouldn't, like, I'd do media bans. I wouldn't read the newspaper. I wouldn't, depending on what was happening. So it's just evolved a little. I guess there's lots more that you can engage with or disengage with these days.
Totally. What's it like having a generation that you've brought into the world, going to the footy with that next generation, and
I
watching
love it.
a little bit of you?
I love it so much. Yeah, I think I'm just really, it's sort of hitting, I suppose, the last few years, how good it is. I mean, because my daughter's supposed to be a bit older now, teenager, and actually, is interested, and likes watching the games and knows the players and all of that. So, it's just someone else to be excited with, because I'm pretty excitable, sort of have been all along.
Yeah.
A bit all over the place, emotional wise, with the football. Again, not unlike a lot of this fan base. So it's kind of nice to sort of bounce that off someone else and be excited and know that they're getting excited, hype them up, but they can hype me up, and so something happens. Oh, guess what? This is what I heard, or so and so's doing this, or there's going to be this at the game. So, yeah, I just really, as I said, this final series was just awesome. The fact that we were able to be there all together and experience it, it was amazing.
It was.
I think it really added to it.
I mean, where does 2023 rank in with some of the best that you've seen? I mean, you've seen grand final wins, so
I have. I know. I've seen
compare?
lots. Not lots. I've seen lots of I suppose different generations of Carlton. I mean, that 90s sort of five, that the 90s sort of era. Yeah, like they were they were awesome. I mean, and they sort of had sort of a, I suppose a build up over a few years. I mean, that was at 94 where they sort of, went out and straight said, but really they should have, they sort of, they underperformed, I guess, in the end when it was important. So I think that obviously spurred them on for 95. So they just couldn't be beaten. What was it? They lost 2 games, and it was just so nice. Sort of, you sort of had that feeling. I had that feeling all season. You think, oh, they're going to win it. They're going to win it. It was just this beautiful confidence, which I don't know what it was. Just this underlying sort of feeling of it's going to happen. Which a little bit of that sort of crept in a little bit at the end of this season. I think once you sort of realised this isn't just a fluke, I think it's leading somewhere. I think deep down I sort of, wanted it to have that confidence, but, the end result was the end result. And I'm probably not too surprised. Obviously disappointed, but not, you sort of looking back, think, okay, well, that's probably about right. Yeah, so the 80s, I mean, again, I remember they were sort of always there or thereabouts. They'd sort of, always be up there or, might drift off. They never really sort of dropped down, which I guess sort of happened a lot more over the last probably 20 or so years. They'd sort of get to a level and then, it'd be up, it'd be down. It wouldn't be that consistent sort of, slide or that consistent rise, which we've been dealing with. Oh, well, I guess the last probably 10 years is probably a lot more of a slide than, a slump, I guess, just a constant, being in that hole. But, I think this is sort of the first year where I probably could look back at those sort of 90s days, and sort of feel confident that this is going to go somewhere. I sort of am getting that sense.
So what's missing, do you think? What's the next step?
Well, I think having played finals this year will be helpful. I guess we've got still a lot of young guys that are sort of in and out of the side, that are still developing. So, like, you look at Durden and obviously Motlop, I suppose, has sort of come in and staked a bit more of a claim. But all these sort of younger guys that are coming in, sort of there, coming in. As I say, I'm not too technically minded. I don't sort of do too much analysis.
And have the algorithms like Tommy?
Yeah, no, yes. Hey, Tommy, that's your job. So I guess just to be sure, I suppose it's the people that we've got behind the scenes that are sort of, the coaching staff. So, like, the injuries, I guess they were still there this year. Whether, I don't know if you could sort of help that. We put things in place to I mean, you can't sort of stop people getting injured. I guess ultimately it's a contact sport. But I think just to keep, we've got a good base. And, it's sort of bringing in sort of people from other clubs that are, that little bit older, that have got that experience, which I guess helped us this year. So I guess to sort of keep developing the young guys, keep, bringing in experience where you can. So, fantasia if he's going to do anything, who knows. But, and I suppose, I don't know, do we need more ruckmen? That was my thing. I think I was just sort of thinking at that time of the year where the two of them were down at once. We sort of, put a Band-Aid fix on it. But I guess ruckmen aren't sort of, easy to come by. So it may not be a quick fix anyway.
Okay. Final question.
Yeah.
I ask everyone the same final question, as you know. Which year will they lift up the next cup?
I was thinking of this. See, now my fear, irrational fear that I have for me is like, we've done this. We've done so well this year. That's got to be our base for next year now. What happens if, I thought we've got to be there and then we've got to be better. So I just hope that they can maintain what they've been doing. I mean, if they do, it could be anyone's next year, couldn't it? I'm going to be conservative and say 2025
Okay.
But if it's next year, I will take it. And you can say I was wrong. I will gladly be told I was wrong.
Yeah.
What do you think? I can't remember if you've actually answered the question.
Have I? Well, you're the first person to ask me back.
Oh, well, there we go. Do you
What
want
do
to
I
answer
think?
the question, or do you want to keep it?
What do I think? I think it'll be 2025.
Yeah.
I think it'll be 2025.
I think, yeah, look, as long as it just, yeah, I'd be, look, they're not going to, I think they're good enough to, to sort of be up there again.
Yeah.
You don't know what the other teams are going to do. I guess there were some that will probably underperform themselves. So, you've got that competition anyway. But yeah, I don't think as I say, prove me wrong, Carlton. Prove me wrong.
Let it
me
be
eat my
24.
words.
Yeah, I think regardless of which year it is, I feel like the next 3 to 4, maybe 5 years is the genuine window for them. So
it has to be. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, this is it. It's
however many we get. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, you can get 4 or 5. I don't care. No, but yeah, this is the time to strike, isn't it? So
yeah. All right.
And I feel confident. I mean, yeah, I think, yeah, it's the sky's the limit.
Well, it's been a pleasure to talk to you.
It has. Thanks, Terry.
Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for documenting your story. And
thank you. Thank you for letting me.
No worries. And we'll see you at the footy next year.
Yes, definitely. I'll have to bump into you again. Maybe we won't be so sad.
Oh, the last time I saw you was it Essendon?
No, it wasn't. Oh God, no, we were actually away. Thank goodness. No, it was the Collingwood game, the first Collingwood game.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, next time will be a much happier time. So
I think so. Regardless, we will be happy.
Absolutely. Antonina, thank you, and go Blues.
Thanks, go Blues. Thanks, Terry.